good company today with Chris Joseph, Creative Director at Ecotiva, makers of eco-friendly consumer products. And we're going to take a look at some of those products in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to hear a little bit about Chris and his background. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Kathy.
So I'd like to start with your background as an entrepreneur, because Ecotiva is very much an entrepreneurial venture. And I'd like to hear a little bit about your background and what led you to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, sure. So, I've been attracted to basically being independent my whole life. Along the way, I've done a lot of like kind of quasi entrepreneurial things, a lot of startup work, everything from making custom skis and custom skateboards in Colorado to starting my own woodworking shop in Massachusetts. My sister and I independently published a children's book together. I've had a number of other kind of failed attempts. And Ecotiva was the one that stuck. We've been at it for 2 years now. So.
Mhm. And tell us a little bit about the origin of Ecotiva.
Sure. So I was lucky enough to get involved with a guy named Rob. Rob and I were chatting, and he had a really cool idea that was kind of like this idea. If you've ever heard of the brand Blue Land,
Mhm.
um, really cool brand. They do glass bottles with like these little tablets that you put in for cleaning recipes around the house or formulas.
Yep.
So eco-friendly in that it's a glass bottle, and the fact that you're not ordering refills, you're just ordering these tablets, and you're using your water at home to basically refill your container. So Rob kind of had an idea that was something around that concept, but we decided to do independent product research, and that led us to it was pretty eye-opening because we discovered that a lot of people are just fed up with excess plastic packaging. That was people's number one pain point. A lot of it was in the grocery store, but a lot of it was just in general. Everybody's just like, geez, what's up with all this plastic packaging? So we thought that a mix of that with just kind of meeting people where they are would be a really cool way to kind of do well by doing good, or do good by doing well, however you want to say it.
Mhm.
And that was sort of the inspiration, was seeing where people felt that the market was lacking.
Mhm. Understood. And I think, as so many of us have gotten more and more packages delivered, I think it really began to make clear the problem. And I think we've all asked ourselves that question about packaging.
Hmm.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your background in product development, because it might surprise our listeners to know that you're actually directly involved in developing and designing from the ground up these products. So, how did you know you had potential in this area? Because this is something that, is a kind of unique skill.
Yeah, no, I'm very directly involved in it, and it's something that I enjoy. I told you I have a wood shop. I still have a wood shop,
Mhm.
so I'm very hands-on. I love to sketch. The way my mind works, I think, is sort of default. I'm sort of default thinking like that, anyways. Always looking for improvements, always looking for efficiencies, or ways to make something, just work better. I probably started when I was making skis in Colorado. I think I was like 27 or 28 years old, and just getting hands on with the process, trying new shapes, new ways of manufacturing. Very intriguing to me, because it's really the art of having a vision and bringing it into the world. Because it's one thing to have an idea, it's one thing to have this sort of concept floating around in your head. But when you try and make that real, that's where the hard work comes in. It's been a long process. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, especially when you're dealing with factories, sometimes overseas, and it's difficult. A lot of it was, just trial and error, and just getting really hands on with the product. I always suggest getting really hands on, even if it's just ordering a competitor sample so you can get your hands on something and say, well, I really like this. There's no shame in emulating. You know, I think the whole world is sort of derivative. You know, it's very, very difficult to find a completely original idea. You know, I also like the saying, or the saying, emulate before you innovate. You know, it's uh, it's something that we all do probably unknowingly. And it's more important, I think, to be genuine, authentic, useful than it is to have some completely original thing that you have to introduce to the market. And maybe people won't receive it the way that you see them receiving it. So it's a balance.
That is such a critical point, and it's one that I wish more, aspiring entrepreneurs realize, is that you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. And sometimes it's the smallest nuances that can really enhance a fully market accepted product or service. So I think that's, a really, really crucial point to make, and I'm glad you made it. So how do you know when you are on to a product design that you feel has some real potential?
Sure. Yeah, I'll get to that in just one sec. Kath. I just wanted to make speak to our point earlier, just a little bit more. And I think it's just for anybody that's listening, it's just a really important concept to recognize when you're making things harder on yourself by trying to maybe
So,
reinvent the wheel or do something like that. Because I
mhm,
think that's part of what drives independent thinkers. That's part of what drives entrepreneurial people, is that you know refusal of what's given to you. You want to make everything better. You want, but it's almost an ego thing if you really get into it. And if you can just recognize that you're doing it and say, wow, I'm really making this a lot harder on myself. Maybe I should be a little more humble here, accept the fact that people have come before me and done this really well. Maybe I can do it a little better. Maybe not better for everyone, but maybe better for a select group of people that will appreciate my product. So, I
mhm.
just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit
Yeah, no,
more.
it's a critical point. Sometimes it's not, sometimes different enough equates to better
Mhm.
for enough of the market.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, just drop that ego and
Mhm,
provide value to people.
mhm. Absolutely. Um, so when, what are some of the earmarks of a product that you start to feel really good about?
All right, so there's a couple different ones. I mean, the bottom line, like if I had to give you a one-word answer, it would just be sales. Because the market, that's the way the market talks to you. I can't tell you the amount of times I thought I've had a brilliant idea and it's not received well. It's
Mhm.
like art in a way. You can put your heart and soul into something, and then you put it out there, and people either love it or they don't. But if you're looking for signs, for me, I'm not a typical consumer. I'm very minimalist. I'm very functionality driven. You'll probably be able to see that in the way that I've designed some of my products. But I almost think if I wouldn't like it, then maybe it would be a good idea because
Yeah.
that kind of tends to be the stuff that sells sometimes.
Mhm.
But really, just I guess I'll elaborate on the sales thing a little bit. You gotta just get it out there, and if you see some momentum building, some positive feedback, um, in reviews or with your sales or with a customer, calling you or chatting about it, or your friends and family, not just lauding you for doing it, but actually reaching into their pocket and buying it. Those are some good signs. It's easy to find validation from friends and family. That's not what you want. You want real, rock solid proof. And at the end of the day, that's sales.
Mhm. Okay. So speaking of sales,
Mhm.
would you like to show us a few of your top sellers?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with we've got our spray bottles here. Kind of the original idea. This wasn't our first product. It was one of our first products. It's not Blue Land. It's not a tablet thing. You can use tablets in them, but comes in our cardboard box. No plastic packaging like all of our products, and it comes with two 16-ounce glass spray bottles. Put a lot of time into these. And what we did that's a lot different, with functionality in mind, we've got our volume reader here in cups. Um, Nice little design. That's not totally functional, but Then we've got our labels here, and it comes with a white glass marker. A lot of our competition comes with stickers, and that's plastic, that's vinyl, that's wasteful.
Mhm.
And this way, you just erase whenever you want to, label it however you want to, date, formula, whatever you want to do, or just sketch on it some more, make it pretty, make it your own. Put a lot of time into these sprayer heads as well, checking out a lot of different manufacturers. What I like about this is that, it's not just a click spray, click stream. It's adjustable to anything in between. And it also comes with a couple long-term storage caps. So if you want to keep it in your closet, you just put this guy on it, little room saver. And of course it comes with a funnel to help you, stay nice and neat. And it actually comes with a free ebook as well, with 25 do-it-yourself recipes, stuff like, using citrus, vodka, whatever you get around the house to make it cleaner.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's the spiel on that one.
I love it. The attention to detail, I think, is something that's so critical. And again, this is what I mean when I say product design is a unique skill set, because looking at that level of detail, I mean, every aspect of it, from the exterior to the interior everything has to be designed. You have to make a decision that you think is going to, have the most appeal. And I wonder is when you're going through the design process, and you have to balance form and function, right? Because there has to be some degree of aesthetics put into this and a strong degree of functionality. How do you balance the two?
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky because I work with a great designer. So she helps tremendously. The flow of the leaves, the simple line work helps a lot. I believe that form follows function.
Mhm.
I look to nature for inspiration. Something that's streamlined, something that's efficient. If you make that, form is naturally going to follow that function, and it's going to look like what it does to some extent.
Mhm.
Um, so I sort of worry about functionality first, and then it's sort of easy to maybe sand over the rough parts and dial it in a little bit more. So it's just that balance. And one more thing I do want to point out about this, it's pretty sweet. We haven't had any of these break without plastic packaging, without bubble wrap, and it's something as simple as putting in a little cardboard tab to keep these things separated during shipment. Another kind of functionality thing
Yeah,
that ends up saving countless amounts of bubble wrap.
that is phenomenal. That is great. And I know we've all opened packages lately where we're like, wow, is this really necessary? I mean, I think we've all gotten packages that have been, much larger than we expected and filled with much more plastic or wrapped in ways that are kind of surprising. So yeah. What's next up for show and tell?
All right, so the next product, maybe my favorite. These are recycled notebooks. It's a pack of 10, nice thin cardboard box, and nice thick, well packed notebooks here. Um, Now, the covers are 80% recycled paper, and all of the pages are 100% recycled. We've had like pretty serious hobbyists just gush over how well constructed and sturdy these notebooks are. I like them because they're kind of the perfect size. You can actually fit it in your back pocket in some pants. Great for travel. Great for kind of project notebooks. And what we did is we went with the dot grid, and the lighting's not great in here, but what I like about the gridded dot is that it gives you the structure to sort of write and journal if you'd like to do that, but it gives you the freedom to sketch or design a product or something like that. So I just think they're super versatile. It's a really great value. I think we're selling these at like $19.99 for 10 notebooks, 100 pages.
Mhm.
Blows all of the similar competition out of the water. None of the competition that I've found are recycled.
Mhm.
And just again, a simple design.
Can you show us the binding, Chris?
What's that?
The binding?
Yeah, the binding is just the glue. So it's not a spiral. It's not a thread or anything like that.
Mhm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And I love how these are, they make great gifts. They're really, they're good for, I mean, you need all of these around the house, and or if you're out and about and you're just documenting, it's really something for everyone and any age too, notebooks in particular. So
Yeah. Yeah. As an idea guy, as an idea girl, I'm sure I love notebooks.
mhm,
The computer's great, but every day I take all of my tasks from the computer, from whatever I'm using for my organizational task keeping,
mhm,
and I write it down in a notebook. And it's recycled, so I don't feel bad about wasting all the paper.
yeah,
But there's just something about putting pen to paper. This day and age where everything's so complicated and so convoluted, the simplicity of it sort of keeps me grounded, and and helps me stay creative
I
every
love
day.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the final piece I got for you here is a bamboo bathroom mat, and this is a little bigger, and we sort of laud it as the safest bathroom mat on the market, and I'll show you why in a second. Whoops, there goes me.
Orders for more products coming in.
All right, so we've got our bamboo bath mat here.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, super well made. We've run it over with a car. It's good to go. We've got like 4 supporting planks here, and we've got 1, 2, 3. I think we got 12 feet here. That's where we kind of made our how do you say that? That's where we got our edge, I think, with the competition.
Mhm.
Have you ever been in a bar and you put your pint glass down and it's wet and it starts kind of ghost floating?
Yeah.
So we've put grooved feet. These are grooved, and it's got the most feet in the market. These grooves prevent any sort of suction slippage from going on. So as you can imagine, when you're stepping out of the shower, the last thing you want is the mat sort of falling out from or slipping out from under your feet.
Mhm.
So people love this. It's our number 1 bestseller. We're actually out of stock right now,
Mhm.
but that should come back in I think 30 days or so. But it's funny because this is one of those products that personally I just wouldn't buy, but people love it. So
I love it. In all seriousness, I've been looking for one. Now,
oh,
and the reason being I have kind of an old fashioned shower. I'm not prepared to do like a major remod or rip it out or put some, fancy flooring down. So can you
yeah.
use that both inside the shower and outside?
Yeah, well, yeah. So if it's inside the shower, I don't think I mean, anything inside the shower long term is going to collect soap scum.
Yeah.
You don't want to be cleaning this thing all the time. I mean, it is triple sealed, so you're gonna, it's gonna have some good resistance, but I wouldn't recommend it in the shower long term. Maybe once or twice. Maybe for an outdoor shower where you're not worried about the maintenance so much, but
Okay.
it's really more for I think people use it more for stepping out of the shower onto, because it's also not large enough, to sort
Mhm.
of, work as an entire shower floor.
Okay. So more as an alternative to a bath mat, and
Mhm.
would you get the best traction by putting it straight down on the floor versus on a towel? Is that what you would recommend?
Either way, you're gonna get really good traction.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure what people do with it. I don't know if they put it right on the floor, which it's designed to do, or put a towel under it,
Yep.
to sort of catch any, residual moisture that might be falling off as
Yeah.
you're dripping off you as you step out of the shower.
Yep.
But yeah, you could do either or for sure.
Mhm. Okay, good to know. I love it. Like I said, I think just I that it adds so much to just about any bathroom design. I particularly like.
Yeah,
I didn't know you were going to show that, and I absolutely love it.
I'll send you this one.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So, Chris, why don't you tell our listeners where your products can be found?
Yeah. So best place to go is ecotiva.com. www.ecotiva.com.
Okay.
And we're always offering discounts. Check out our blogs, all sorts of cool stuff on there. Anything talking about honeybees to, what sort of sunscreen to wear that's not going to kill coral reefs, and all sorts of
Mhm.
stuff in between. You can also find us on Amazon.
I love it. Good for you. And I'm very, just very happy for you. I think it's really nice that you have this like incredible creativity, and at the same time you're producing responsible product, but also there's an aesthetic component as well that I think is really cool. So
Yeah.
congratulations, and feel free to come by and visit when you have other products. And I should ask, like, do you how frequently do you come out with new products? So like, should people visit Ecotiva regularly, or how do you kind of decide what's going to be in the product lineup?
Sure. So in the beginning, we released like, 6 at once almost, and my head was spinning. And since then, we've kind of, staggered it a little bit more. But it's a little touch and go. We've got a new product coming out, sort of under a different brand. Some bachelorette party decorations, which are really cool. But I'm wandering now. Probably once every couple months at this rate. Like I said, we came out with a bunch in the beginning, but now once every couple months, check our blog, keep up on it. We're trying to stay active on Instagram, but it's just a lot. So if anybody's, an Instagram hero out there that wants to hop in with us, give me a holler.
Yeah, that's important to note, because there are a lot of kind of eco-friendly Instagrammers out there. So I hope that some will see this and want to, promote your products.
That'd be great.
I think that would probably get you some nice publicity. And just thank you very much for joining us today. I think this is great stuff. And again, things that you can do, kind of, you can bring eco-friendly products into your life without even, really changing how things are done. And as you mentioned, you have this, party wear that's coming up, and who would have thought, that you can have, because right, parties are the scenes of a lot of things that need to be thrown away. So it's the creation of a lot of landfill, basically. And to have these, eco-friendly products that can be used for, quick parties, I think that's a really nice, stream to go down. So thanks for mentioning that. And thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, totally, Kat. Thank you. And just one more thing too, just
Sure.
before we run, just to speak on what you're talking about. So the party supplies, and that kind of stuff, and really all our stuff in general. And thank you. I appreciate that. I love that you think it's stylish, because I don't know. I just try my best. So thank you for that. And we're all about meeting people where they are. And the last thing I want to do here is greenwash. I don't want to say that everything is eco-friendly to the nth degree. It's no waste. I know people are going, we're consumers. It's okay.
Mhm.
We're just trying to meet people where they are. No matter what you're doing in your manufacturing, you're going to create some waste. The
Mhm.
hope is to, just be better about it and incrementally get better. Again, meeting people where they are. For instance, these party supplies that are coming out, we've limited the amount of plastic and the amount of plastic packaging, but it's still wasteful. The real thing to do is go out in your backyard, maybe grab some twigs and make do with what you got, or not buy party supplies at all.
Mhm.
But I know a lot of people aren't going to do that, and that's totally cool. I get it. Make somebody feel special. Put all
Mhm.
the decorations up. But there's just let's just get incrementally better. So I just want to make sure I'm not coming off here as like we are 100% waste free. We are because we're not. We're just better.
Good. Good to know. Well,
Cool.
thank you for that. And also, I know folks can kind of include, if they have any questions after watching this, they can certainly go to ecotiva
Yeah.
.com, ask some questions, get in touch with you if they have any, product specific concerns. I know you do a good job of describing what goes into each product. So thank you very much for offering that really good, thoughtful background, and taking those steps to make better product. So
Right on. Thank you, Kat. Thank
congratulations.
you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. A lot of
All
fun
right.
talking.
Take care.
Just cut it